Okay, I'm Matt Morgan. This is World History Since 1500, the online edition for LCIE. I'm just going to make this video as short as possible so that I can go over the basics, so that when you read the syllabus, when you look at the first lecture video, you understand what's going on, that this might make it a little bit easier. So this has got to be as short as possible. I'm going to go fast. If you need to pause it, pause it. You can always go back, of course, this being a video. So, yeah. And let me know if you have any questions about any of this. I don't have any kind of problem answering 10 emails a day from everyone. So, you know, I may not be able to answer them as promptly as I would like if I get 10 emails per day from every student, but that would not be a problem whatsoever. So don't hesitate to email me over the slightest concern. Okay. Okay. So the syllabus. The syllabus is located on Blackboard. It's a Word file. So you go to week 1. You'll click on the course, and you'll look in course content over on the left. Click on course content over on the left. Then click on week 1, and in the week 1 folder should be the syllabus. And then you click on the little, I think it's highlighted, and you download the syllabus. It's a Word file. And all of the legal stuff and LCIE policies, all that's covered on the syllabus, so you can get a good look at that there. I got this neat picture here of George Washington Williams. We're going to study some very prominent individuals in this course, many of whom are not known by many people. One of these, George Washington Williams. I put him in this presentation to help liven up the discussion, but he's someone who helped crack open information about a very corrupt regime in a country now called the Democratic Republic of Congo, when it was ruled by the Empire of Belgium, and millions of people being killed. This guy was a Baptist minister and a former army officer. He managed to sneak into the country and then report back to the world what had occurred there. And he was supported by a number of different people, including Mark Twain. We know Mark Twain. So I'm just including this stuff just to make things less boring. Alright, our textbook is Traditions and Encounters. You can see here the cover of one of the editions. Now, this course, the edition that has already been provided for you is the Lindenwood exclusive printing, custom printing. You don't need that edition, but at the same time, that's the edition I have. That's the edition that the page numbers on the syllabus are for. So I included the chapter titles also. So if you use a different edition, you know, go in and make sure that the chapters that you're reading align with the readings listed on the syllabus. And this is the only textbook. I think there was an annual editions, Mitchell and Mitchell, included in the prompt. You don't need that. That was meant to be deleted. Oh, also, I have this text here in red. I only do that because when you go back, recording these slides through PowerPoint, if you go back, you end up having to erase everything you've already done. So this lets me know when I'm going to the next slide. So the ISBN number doesn't appear online. Again, it's a custom print for Lindenwood. Okay, I have this really interesting photograph of a geisha here on the left, taken from the 19th century, that's been colorized. The geisha were kind of musicians and poets and social performers who would entertain crowds and social functions in traditional Japan. I include this picture because it signifies something that makes this class a little bit different. We're going to be talking about Asia and Africa significantly more than in the majority of offerings of this course. The reason for this is that in my master's program, I spent a lot of time studying East Asia, having traveled fairly extensively For example, I've spent time in Japan, so I have a certain amount of familiarity with these, with different societies, non-Western societies, and I would like to present you with as much of that as I can, because that's something that will make this course unique. But at the same time, it's something that you should think about at the beginning of this course, whether or not that's something that you find interesting, all of these different African, Asian cultures that we're going to include in our discussions. So the first goal is that the course is a study of the growth and interactions of world cultures and concentrates on the history of the world since 1500. The emphasis is on the interaction of the West with other civilizations after the industrial and scientific revolutions. Colonialism, imperialism, and non-Western nationalist movements will be considered along with the development of the current world situation. So basically, how things got to be the way that they are, how this global economy developed, how the industrial revolution, scientific revolution, how these changed human life throughout the globe, and how different cultures interacted with one another alongside these massive changes. There's a picture of a kind of gruff Russian peasant from the late 19th century. Again, this collection of photographs from the 19th century that I recently stumbled across. Just amazing. But there are 3 exams in the course, since we're going to be talking a little bit more about course details now. There will be 3 exams. Each exam will consist of multiple choice, true, false, matching questions. Okay? There will be no discussion questions on the exam. And I'm just saying that with emphasis so that, don't have to, we can just, you'll remember, no discussion questions, no short answer questions. Okay? It's multiple choice, true, false, and matching only. Now each exam is on Blackboard. So how it will work, you'll log into Blackboard, you'll go to the week that the exam is offered, you click on the link, you'll take the exam, and you'll be straight. Okay? You'll take the exam online. There won't be any. There will be no meeting up for this course whatsoever. And on top of that, there will be no time at which we all have to congregate in front of our computers and connect with one another. That will not have to happen. You'll have a weekly due date at 11:59 that coming Sunday, right? I'm doing this on the Sunday before our first week begins. This coming Sunday at 11:59 p.m., your first assignment will need to be in, as well as your weekly discussion board post, etc., etc. We'll go into more on that in a moment. But throughout that week, you'll be able to do it at your leisure. The exam questions will be taken from the readings and the lectures. And the exams in this course take place on weeks 4, 8, and 11. Okay. So the deal with this is that I've put in the folders on weeks 4, 8, and 11. There will be review sheets with all the terms that you need to know for the exam. So I'm just giving you a very easy strategy to do well on the test without much trouble. Take that sheet, watch the lecture videos. They should already be available. So you can have that sheet printed out, and as you go through all the lecture videos, as you encounter the terms, you can write them down on the sheet. Right? So you have a ready review sheet, and really just cliff notes for when you take the exam. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. It's basically just printing out the sheet I provide you with in the folders of weeks 4, 8, and 11, and then just defining all the terms. Final exam is cumulative, meaning that the third exam will have elements of the first and second exam on the test. All of the questions that are cumulative, though, on the third exam will come from the first 2 exams. So you will have already seen those questions before. Okay, we will also have written assignments. Just as there are 3 exams, there are 2 film reviews. Now I've put up a list of 2 film reviews. There are movies listed individually, and then there's also a list of extra movies for those who are interested. In the folder titled Film Reviews, you'll pick 2 of these films, and you will watch these 2 films, and for each film you will write a 500-word film review. And there is a guide in the film review section on how to structure your 500-word review. Basically, it's a combination of summarizing the plot and the characters, and also critiquing the film, whether you liked it, whether you thought it was a good film or not, and also how it relates to material we've discussed. So these reviews need to be submitted as attachments through Blackboard. So there are assignment links on the weeks that they're due. I think it's week 6 and week 9 or 10. And the attachment link is on there. So you'll click on that link, and then you'll submit your film review, whether it's a Word file, or hopefully it's a Word file, that'd be easiest. And you'll submit it through that link. Okay, so that's the same thing with the first assignment, which we'll get to in a moment. So two film reviews are what you'll have to write in addition to the first assignment. Oh, here's more about the film reviews. This is an image of a film called To Live. It'd be best viewed after week 3 when we go over some of the Confucianism, family ethics, etc. So you can do any of these films at any point. And again, it's plot summary, describing the characters and the action, with criticism and how the film reflects what we've discussed. And it's week 6 and 10 that the assignment links are put up. Okay, have to pick up the pace here. This is another film set in a documentary about a civil war in Nigeria called Delta Boys. It's a fascinating movie, great documentary. It might be best to view that after week 2 when we discuss Africa. Each week there's going to be a link to a YouTube video. So it'll say week 1 lecture video or whatever, or something similar. And you'll click on that link, and then that will take you to the YouTube video. You may have to copy and paste the link depending on whether or not Blackboard's acting up or something like that. But you should be able to get to the video from that link, and you'll watch the YouTube video. Now, in the description box of each video, there are supplemental videos, and I will mention these as I lecture in the in the videos. So the video will say, this will be a good time to watch video X, right? So you'll pause that video, and then you'll go down to the description box, you'll click on the link and watch the video. Now, these videos are optional. Some of them are very entertaining, some of them are funny, some of them are very interesting, and they're good things to talk about in the discussion boards if you need information to put there. And they are very good for understanding, internalizing the material, making the most of the course. And of course, they help you prepare for the test because they help you remember, internalize these concepts we're talking about. But at the same time, you might have to pick and choose which ones you want to watch. And of course, some of these videos are quite long, so you can only watch a couple of minutes of, say, a 20-minute video that's posted. You don't have to watch all 20 minutes. Just pick a minute or two. And once you get the point of why it's included, you exit that video, or you can skip through it as well. Now, these lectures were made over the course of the summer of 2014. So there are maybe a couple of points where I mentioned scheduling, exams, technical difficulties. Summer of 2014, the first time I've done this course, so I had a number of technical problems that have been worked out that won't affect us now, but I may be talking about that in that lecture. So just ignore all that. All the scheduling and everything that's said in those videos, just ignore it. It does not apply to this course. So after you watch the lecture, you'll post one paragraph in that week's lecture discussion board. So you'll post your thoughts about what you found interesting, or what you find applicable to your own life, your own thoughts, your own perspective, etc. And that paragraph should describe 2 topics in the lecture that you found interesting. So pretty simple. I will reply to as many as I can each week. Some posts I will not be able to reply to. Some I will reply to. There will be instances where I reply to multiple posts in one reply. So if I'm addressing a topic and I haven't replied to you yet, look down and you'll see that I've covered it. It's the same thing with emails. I send out a lot of mass emails. I try to address as efficiently as possible for everyone, so that everyone gets the information. If you've sent me an email and I've sent out a mass email, it may be answering the particular question you emailed me about. So when you didn't get a reply, don't think that I'm ignoring your email. I'm just including that information in a mass email. And of course, these paragraphs are due on the Sunday night following the next week's Monday, or preceding the next week's Monday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so you can at 11:59 before the coming Monday, this coming Sunday. Not I'm doing this on a Sunday, so not tonight. Tomorrow our first week starts. The following week's the following Sunday night at 11:59, everything will be due. Now, if you need the issue with this is if you need some kind of extension, or you can't get the assignments in on time, just let me know and we'll work it out. I have 3 children. I'm struggling with an illness, a chronic disease that takes a lot of the fight out of me at times. So I understand exactly that there are many concerns that we all have, especially as working adults. So just let me know, and I will be glad to work with you any way that I possibly can. Okay? With that said, these due dates are important, because if you get behind in this course, you can get overwhelmed. You can, in your mind, if you're like me, if you're a procrastinator, you can put everything off till Sunday night at 6 p.m. You can get online, watch the lecture, do everything, and yeah, you can get all that in. You can start at 6 p.m. on Sunday night. You can get everything done. Or, you can email me and say I couldn't get it done, and I'll say, well, okay, you just get it in next week. But as the weeks go by, if you keep putting it off, that's going to stack. And I had a student the last quarter who waited to the last week to try to do everything, and there was just way too much work for 1 week. So don't do that. Make sure that you are as prompt as you possibly can be. Now, I understand things get in the way. Again, just let me know. We'll work it out. But at the same time, keep that in mind. Also, in addition to the lecture discussion, we're going to have quizzes on the reading. So you'll do the reading each week, and you'll take a 5-question quiz. I got that S there. That's unfortunate. On the reading for that week. I'm going to edit that S out before I make the video. So, but the students will take the quiz. You can take the quiz 3 times. You can make 3 attempts. So you'll sit down, click on week 1. After you've done the reading, you can have your book open, you can have Wikipedia open, whatever you need, and you'll answer a 5-question quiz. Sometimes it will be 1 question with 5 matching terms, and you can do three attempts until you get the perfect score. But at the same time, you have to complete this in 1 sitting. You can't make 1 attempt, get up, come back next Monday and take a 2nd attempt, or next Tuesday, or whatever. You can't do that. You have to do it all at once. So set aside, an hour to take the quiz. It won't take you. It would take a sharp student 5 minutes. But whatever. But it varies by person. Just make sure that you leave yourself enough time. Okay, I'm Matt Morgan. This is World History Since 1500, the online edition for LCIE. I'm just going to make this video as short as possible so that I can go over the basics, so that when you read the syllabus, when you look at the first lecture video, you understand what's going on, that this might make it a little bit easier. So this has got to be as short as possible. I'm going to go fast. If you need to pause it, pause it. You can always go back, of course, this being a video. So, yeah. And let me know if you have any questions about any of this. I don't have any kind of problem answering 10 emails a day from everyone. So, you know, Alright, about me, there's a picture of me with a couple of members of my family there. My little girl there, she's now 11. This was taken a while ago. But me, I'm from Mississippi, from northeastern Mississippi. I mentioned stuff about circumstances in my life, discussions in my life throughout the course, but you know, it's not that I want to talk about myself or I'm this narcissist. It's more that the points I try to demonstrate why history matters, why it matters to all of us, why it's personally relevant, and I use my own life as an example, you know, to get you to think about how these issues affect your own life, and how, you know, you were you know, we're all products of our past and of our families and of the cultures we come from. So I want to get you thinking about that, thinking about how history ideas affect our existence and our society, and it makes us better citizens, it makes us better people, it makes us better at everything that we do. You know, if you're for example, if you're a law enforcement officer, you know, having an understanding of, you have your practical understanding, which, you know, to anybody who's rational, their own experiences are going to play a heavy role in how they think. So if you've been a law enforcement officer and, you know, you've been at it for several years, and you have these experiences, you know, you can combine your knowledge gained from those experiences with these kind of theoretical discussions about human nature, about a philosophy that we will have on these videos and in these discussion boards, and you'll be able to bring them together, and hopefully it will help you. Hopefully you'll find this course helpful in the long run. I try to, you know, I know people just want to get a degree, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's what we all, you know, we all want to advance in our lives, our careers. But at the same time, I hope that this helps you. I mean, I hope that I try to make this course pragmatic. I try to make it useful for non-majors. I try to ask questions and cover issues that are pertinent, that will help us all. You know, I come from an impoverished background, and a background of extreme poverty. Northeast Mississippi is in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. It's very rural. It's very crime-ridden. You know, for example, people, the drug culture, the methamphetamine has had a huge effect on my life. The growing up around this kind of criminal element kind of had a huge effect on my life. It had an effect on how I think. So, you know, again, I want to make this course relevant personally for everyone. Okay, I have to pick up the pace here. This is another film set in a documentary about a civil war in Nigeria called Delta Boys. It's a fascinating movie, great documentary. It might be best to view that after week 2 when we discuss Africa. Each week there's going to be a link to a YouTube video. So it'll say week 1 lecture video or whatever, or something similar. And you'll click on that link, and then that will take you to the YouTube video. You may have to copy and paste the link depending on whether or not Blackboard's acting up or something like that. But you should be able to get to the video from that link, and you'll watch the YouTube video. Now, in the description box of each video, there are supplemental videos, and I will mention these as I lecture in the in the videos. So the video will say, you know, this will be a good time to watch video X, right? So you'll pause that video and then you'll go down to the description box, you'll click on the link and watch the video. Now these videos are optional. Some of them are very entertaining, some of them are funny, some of them are very interesting, and they're good things to talk about in the discussion boards if you need information to put there. And they are very good for understanding, internalizing the material, making the most of the course. And of course they help you prepare for the test because they help you remember, internalize these concepts we're talking about. But at the same time, you might have to pick and choose which ones you want to watch, and of course some of these videos are quite long, so you can only watch a couple of minutes of, say, a 20-minute video that's posted. You don't have to watch all 20 minutes. Just pick a minute or two, and once you get the point of why it's included, you exit that video, or you can skip through it as well. Now these videos, these lecture videos, these lectures were made over the course of the summer of 2014. So there are maybe a couple of points where I mentioned scheduling, exams, technical difficulties. Summer of 2014, the first time I've done this course, so I had a number of technical problems that have been worked out that won't affect us now, but I may be talking about that in that lecture. So just ignore all that. All the scheduling and everything that's said in those videos, just ignore it. It does not apply to this course. Alright, I've harped on enough about that. I thought I was going to make this short. I have one last thing here. I'm putting up a message board that's going to be a disclaimer. I'll tell this story really quickly. In this course we talk about slavery, we talk about the First World War, the Second World War, one of the most graphic events in the history of the world, the rape of Nanking in the 1930s, when the Japanese military for 6 weeks descended on the city of Nanking in China and engaged in a very atrocious activity. I give this as an example because there are photos from this event. They're just horrific. Soldiers with infants impaled on bayonets, 2-year-olds being thrown into cauldrons of boiling water and bayoneted back into the water when they try to escape. Some of the most graphic pictures in existence date from this event, with the rape of Nanking. We cover that event. So there are a couple of photographs that are just awful, just atrocious. And in several weeks, there are photographs I've included in the lectures that are just hard to look at. And I've done it for a reason. Because this is something that people have experienced. These events that we talk about aren't fiction. They aren't from film. They're not something that I think we should be able to close our eyes to. We should be able to look at this, see what's happened, examine it, and hopefully it changes the way we think about the world around us, the issues I talked about earlier. But with that said, it does take a toll. It takes a toll on me. It did when I was making these videos and when I was making the slideshows before the videos. Slide after slide, some very depressing, disturbing material can get to you. So when we encounter that, I advise you to find something positive or happy after, for example, the First World War lecture, the Second World War lecture, because those are they're filled with photographs of some very, very upsetting material. And I say this because I was showing these lecture videos to students, and people were looking at some of these horrific pictures from warfare, and there was a student who watched one of the film reviews of the films, the movie Living Goddess, who had seen a cow get slaughtered. There's a scene in that film where they sacrifice a cow, basically decapitate a cow. Of course, you know, I was around. My grandfather had a cattle farm, and he did it in the traditional American Indian. He had an American Indian way of farming. That was it would be kind of treated as organic farming today, but it was not called that back then. Back in the 70s and 80s, 80s for me when I was around, it was just the kind of native way of farming. But I didn't think twice about a cow getting its head cut off. Who cares, right? That was my attitude. I mean, I wouldn't want to see it in real life if I didn't have to, and it's not something that I don't fault people for caring, right? I'm not saying that you're wrong to care. I'm just saying that in the life that I lived, it's not something that made me flinch, especially after looking at all these pictures, like these pictures of these British children here looking up to see if German rockets are going to be smashing into their homes, school, etc. That is something that I find upsetting, personally. But just know that this course is going to necessitate confronting some of this. So what I've put up is a message board where states, I accept that the lectures, discussions, and films used during the course may contain offensive and or graphic images and subject matter. So I'll need you by Monday evening, I say around 10 o'clock Monday evening, to just log on, click that post and say I accept. Okay, so you click on that, you accept that. For the first 2 weeks, I have to take up a roster, just like with a regular course, an in-class course. So I have to find a way to collect attendance. So I do that through posting I accept on this forum. You do that, you'll be granted, you will be included in the roster that I submit electronically to campus. So just please do that. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and thanks for watching this video. I've tried to make it as short as I could.